Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to the panel for being here. It's an important topic, an exciting topic that we're engaging in today. When I meet employers in my district, they often talk about the disconnect between the skills being taught in colleges and universities and the skills that employers are seeking to meet their workforce needs. Sometimes they don't even come close to what actually is needed in the workplace, as you've indicated in your testimony. I have a number of excellent colleges in and around my district that are attempting to develop courses and programs to satisfy this workforce demand. Mr. Chairman, you might be interested in one college, Adrian College in my district, has developed a relationship with Google. And I remember when we visited Google last term together and heard of the massive need that they had in people trained in the computer skills, IT, coding, all of the rest, but also needed those soft skills, critical thinking skills, et cetera. They weren't finding them. They were finding people that had courses, but those courses weren't meeting the needs of the real world. And so it's been interesting to watch Adrian College develop this consortium now starting with Google, and now ratcheting up and out with other colleges as well that have niche fields that they can share in unique and creative educational arrangements so that individual students can have opportunity to have those needs met with soft skills as well as the technical skills that the businesses, whether it's in marketing or sales or logistics or insurance, et cetera, when they get into the field themselves, they're prepared and ready. And they don't have to have the remedial training that Google would have to give most of what they're receiving from universities today. And so partnerships like this seem to be something we ought to be working toward. Mr. Pianco, in your experience, have you seen other colleges start to amend their curricula to better align with the workforce demands? And if so, is there a common thread or model that you think could be broadly emulated?
Yeah, so I get asked this question a lot, which is like, how do we do it better if we're a college or a university? How do we get better connected to employment? And I think we have to realize what people do well and what people they may or may not need help with. And colleges and universities were really not set up to do workforce development and job training. The jobs that you're talking about at Google, the technologies that they're describing probably change over once every 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Right. And colleges tend to I sat on the curriculum committee of my undergraduate institution, and it took us 2 years to update a curriculum, and usually that was adding a new book or something. When programming languages, especially in the technology field, are changing as rapidly as they are, it becomes very difficult for colleges to do what you're describing. And so I think
under the old model.
Under the old model.
Yeah, and I guess what we're saying is that model needs to change.
Right. So the question is, what do you do if you're a college? Right.
You change.
You change.
Or you go away.
Or you focus on what you're really good at, and then I think there are going to be a new brand of companies, nonprofits, community-based organizations that spring up that actually provide the connective tissue between educational institutions and employers. And it's really hard for the one college in your district that probably graduates a few hundred students every year to have that relationship with Google. That's unique. But if they could tie into some sort of broader national framework of either a company or a nonprofit that actually provides a lot of that training that Google needs, that last mile training that Google needs, and Google will pay for it.
And Google is paying for it.
Google is paying for it.
And 21 other businesses are now starting to work in this consortium to do the same thing.
Exactly. And what you're describing is exactly what the future is. These intermediaries are going to spring up, and Congress should really help develop these intermediaries that can connect this chasm between education and employment. So what you're describing is exactly the innovation we would be excited to see grow.
And with push like you're talking about, in a sense, forcing through saying it's not going to work the old way.
Right.
Colleges, if they're going to survive, and small colleges like Adrian are going out of business every day.
Those are the ones that are struggling the hardest. I mean, if you're a small college, how do you keep up to date? And so, I think as you think about well, how do you encourage innovation? You should actually think about putting workforce dollars on the table that could facilitate that interaction with. Google's a big example. They got a ton of money, but there are plenty of other companies in your district, Congressman Scott's district, that would probably love some money to help them build an apprenticeship program for the middle skill areas that you described.
Thank you. Exciting opportunity. I yield back.